Alright, so you're just enjoying your regular day, and suddenly you smell an awful, bad stink coming from somewhere. You look around only to find that, oh gosh, it's coming from your belly button. You're shocked, but most of all confused. Why does your belly button smell? Well, we're going to answer that and some other questions in today's video. Why does my belly button smell, and other facts. But first, why don't you hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell next to it for all your unusual, strange, hygiene, and body-related facts. Because if you have an odd question that needs to be answered, obviously you're going to go to your bestie. First, let's start off today by answering the question, why does my belly button smell? Well, there are a couple of reasons why you might have a stinky belly button, and thanks to Healthline, we know them all. So for this part of the video, we'll mainly be consulting their ideas and facts. At least then you can finally answer the question of, why does my belly button smell? The first reason your belly button might smell. According to Healthline, the first and probably most common answer to the why does my belly button emit an awful and bad stink is poor hygiene. Observing hygiene is incredibly important. We cannot stress this enough. You especially have to observe hygiene within your belly button because Healthline says that it has its own tiny ecosystem. For starters, gross. For seconders, please explain further. Well, research done by the Public Library of Science found that our belly buttons may be home to nearly 70 types of bacteria, fungi, and other germs that can also get trapped inside the belly button region. Then, these bacteria and germs eat dead skin, dirt, sweat, and all the other gross, stinky stuff you'd find in your belly button. And then they multiply. After a while, and especially if you don't observe good hygiene and clean down there once in a while, they'll mix with a lot of the sweat and dirt and start to stink. So there you have it. Your belly button smells bad because you don't wash up enough. The second reason your belly button might smell. The second answer to the all-important why does my belly button smell as bad as heck question is something a little more serious than poor hygiene, specifically infection. According to the folks at Healthline, Candida is a type of yeast that likes to grow in dark, warm, and moist environments, like your groin and underarms. This, among other infections, not only create horrible, bad smells, but also create a lot of potential problems for your body. You'll want to seek help from a medical professional if you find yourself with a stinky infection that doesn't go away after you wash it. The third reason your belly button might smell. Here, we start to get into a grosser territory, so this is only if you've completely ruled out options 1 and 2 for reasons as to why your belly button might stink. Ready? Alright, here it is. The third reason for a stinky belly button is epidermoid and pillar cysts. You can probably imagine what these entail, but we'll let Healthline explain them better. An epidermoid cyst is a bump that starts in the top layer of skin, and a pillar cyst starts near the hair follicle. Both of these cysts contain cells inside a membrane that produce and secrete a thick keratin protein sludge. If one of these cysts gets large and bursts, the thick, yellow, foul-smelling discharge will drain from it. So there you go. If you have gross bumps all around your belly button, you might have epidermoid and/or pillar cysts. Just go to a doctor if you find you have these. The fourth reason your belly button might smell. Alright, the last reason for having a stinky belly button is probably just as gross as number 3, but much less common. The number 4 reason for having a stinky belly button is sebaceous cysts. Once again, we'll let Healthline handle this one. They originate in the sebaceous glands, which normally produce a waxy and oily lipid mixture called sebum for skin lubrication and protective properties. Sebaceous cysts fill up with sebum and can become infected. If you haven't already guessed, they can become pretty stinky as well. Again, if you have cysts near your belly button, please go see a doctor. Well, now you know why you might have an awful smelling belly button. Unless it's bad hygiene, you should probably seek medical attention. For starters, you don't want smelly odors coming from anywhere on your body, let alone a place there isn't supposed to be smelly odors, like your belly button. Also, what's the point in ignoring it and potentially damaging yourself even further? And so, we move away from the world of smelly belly button odors and into the world of interesting facts about the human body. Who knows? There might be even more smelly odors to come. Unusual fact number 1. Think about blushing for a second. Maybe you see that cute girl you like, or maybe your crush says something complimentary to you and you can't help but go all red. Well, did you know that when you blush, your stomach blushes too? Yeah, according to 22 Words, whenever you blush outwardly, the inside of your stomach blushes as well. We always knew the expression that goes, "A way to a man's heart is through his stomach," but we didn't think they meant it literally. Unusual fact number 2. Let's move from your blushing stomach to your eyelashes. Maybe you spend hours making them up. Maybe you wear falsies. Either way, you're just making a home for mites. That's right, according to a study done by the American College of Asthma, Allergy, and Immunology, you have a bug called Demodex mites living in your eyelashes. Apparently, they eat, sleep, and even fornicate right next to your peepers. Real nice mites. You guys are just the epitome of class. Unusual fact number 3. Remember that comment about going through a man's heart to get to his stomach? Or wait, the other way around. Nevertheless, let's talk about hearts for a second. Here's a fun fact about your ticker. Apparently, the folks at All That's Interesting tell us that they can still beat even when they're outside their bodies. In a report done by Al Jazeera America that was relayed to All That's Interesting, they tell us that human hearts are kept beating on the way to being transplanted. Wow, we gotta say, that's pretty creepy. Unusual fact number 4. And now we travel from a telltale heart to a telltale, saliva. Turns out that we humans are pretty spitty. As a matter of fact, fact collector Scoop Whoop reports that humans produce as much as 2 pints of saliva in a day. We do it to keep our mouths clean, healthy, and bacteria-free. But that sure is a whole lot of spit. Unusual fact number 5. What an awesome, yet unusual, and somewhat gross journey around the human body. We're learning all sorts of awesome but strange facts about ourselves, aren't we? Alright, so from the spitty mouth, we travel to the human brain, one of the most complex systems on planet Earth. It's so complex that we humans don't even fully understand each of its operations. Imagine that! All of human history to discover how our primary organ works, and we're still in the dark. Anyways, that's not the fact we wanted to share today. It's not nearly unusual enough. We consulted All That's Interesting again, and they reported that in cases of extreme starvation, the brain will begin to eat itself, kind of like a zombie. But if the zombie was inside you, and it was eating your own brain, ow, that's really giving us a headache to think about. Unusual fact number 6. While we take some Advil, why don't we talk about an unusual fact that isn't so mind-bending? How about we move from the brain down to your private parts, where we're going to talk about urine for a second. Apparently, according to the Kent State Science Department, fresh urine is cleaner than water, spit, or even the skin on your face. Unusual fact number 7. And finally, let's explore one last unusual fact about your bodies. We all know that there are 206 bones in the human body, and we all know the pickup line that starts with that fact. You can keep it to yourself. But can you guess where the majority of those bones are? If you guessed your feet, then you're absolutely correct. This comes from the people and experts at healthcommunities.com who tell us that 26 bones are located in just the ankle and foot. Neato! And that concludes our video about unusual facts and belly button odors. Did you learn anything, or were you too grossed out to continue? Obviously you weren't if you made it all the way here, so let us know in the comments section below if you were one of the few tough enough to get through the whole thing. If you were, kudos! Enjoyed this video? Hit the like button and share with your friends. Also, subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching!